when I started programming, my dad used to ask, like, I see people making robots and stuff. What do you do? Why is it black screen? Nothing happening. I have seen people struggling because they were using English resources. Let's say someone said, okay, this book is very good to learn C. But that guy still doesn't know the language basics, right? So I learned programming in Bengali for like a lot of things, even data structure basics, right? So it helped me because we prefer learning in our mother tongues. Hi, I'm Atiyab Jubair and I'm from Bangladesh. So I'm studying in NIT Trichy. Before joining NIT Trichy, I studied business administration for a year. But as I started coding early, it seemed like a passion. So I got a scholarship here and joined NIT Trichy. I like to watch a lot of sitcom, and that's pretty much about it.
So tell us more about your placement season. How was the journey? How was everything?
Well, placement, I got internship. So internship season started around mid-July. The first company was Google. And to a lot of people, it happens a lot that many people messes up their first interview. I messed up my first OT. So there goes Google, and there many companies came. It happens that many of your friends are getting in, you are not getting in. So there's a peer pressure that gets on your nerves. And same thing happened to me, but then I got into a good company. So I'm like, okay, grateful that I got earlier than a lot of people. And even though it is not on the top priority list, but at least I'm happy with it, and I think I can go along with the flow.
The company that you've gotten placed in is a really good company.
It's a very good company. Even though it was not top list, but it's a very good company.
What is the stipend that you're getting for your internship?
It's 1.5 lakh.
1.5. That is great.
Happy? Yes, my dad's. He is from business background, so he is definitely happy. Yeah. He's like, okay, you got into a good place, now focus on your CGPA.
Nice.
Talking about CGPA, so what was your CGPA and what was the criteria of GS, Goldman Sachs, minimum criteria of GPA?
Most of the companies gave a criteria of 7. If I'm not wrong, it depends from college to college. In our cases, actually the greater average was 7, so that's why. Some very few role, for example, Microsoft's SWE was 7, but TPM and PM was 8. So like 2-3 companies only had 8 cutoff, mostly 7. And mine is like a bit above 7, so I got saved.
A lot of students ask, what is the importance of projects in your resume?
Well, because of started programming early, I had chance to explore a lot of things, like not under pressure, just for fun. So that helped me put things into shortlist. Put things into resume. And I have seen people who are very good. Who are very good at data structure, algorithm, logical reasoning. But just because they started late, they didn't have that much project. So they got cut off from the initial shortlisting. The process, I won't say that much fair, but so like at least 2-3 projects if you have, like even if you like see some tutorials, make it on your own. Because if it's something unique, the companies will give much value. But at least if you have something that you know what's happening there, it's actually helpful, better than nothing.
So students should have at least 2 to 3 projects in your resume.
Yeah, that will help a lot.
Yes, nice. What technologies did you make your projects in?
I had one in PHP coordinator, LAMP stack, PHP coordinator, MySQL, like that. And there was this one I made with Svelte and TypeScript. And I did a virtual internship with Samsung. So, and there I did my project in like Python, deep learning stuff.
Nice. So tell us more about your placement preparation journey. What all did you prepare? What all did they ask in the interviews? How many rounds?
For all the interviews or just one?
Yeah, whatever you remember.
So what happens, the preparation in my college, the internship preparation starts around from the beginning of the second year. Whatever seniors they are like keep poking you, prepare good, but not a lot of people pay attention because it's still 1 year.
Yes.
So most of the people starts preparing from the summer vacation, because after
Summer vacation after their second
after
year.
the second year.
Yes.
So that 3 months, even I won't say I prepared very frequently before the summer because of the academic pressure and everything. The COVID cut a lot of months, so we didn't get much vacation. So during the summer, what I did is, there are DSA sheets like
Yes.
that. We have like one sheet which was curated by our seniors, whatever questions they faced. So that was very helpful in the sense that we have those lead code 75 and sheets like that. But this sheet, it came actually on my campus. So on campus preparation and off campus preparation, I think is a bit different. So that sheet helped me because it's directly on campus resource. Apart from that, I wouldn't say I solved a lot of lead code, but whatever I did, it helped. And although not a lot of people say it, but I think competitive programming is important, because I know people who have like solved a lot of lead code, but then again they got stuck during the OT because they didn't know how to take input.
Okay.
So
They didn't know how to take input.
exactly, because in lead code you don't need to take input, right?
Yeah.
So that makes us a habit that okay, we just need to know the logic behind the program. But sometimes you just need to know some extra things that helps, especially to like pass the first round.
Yeah.
They give CP problems.
Yes.
So CP is a bit helpful.
Nice.
Suppose somebody is starting in their first year, right? So what will you guide them that first you need to learn a language, then a DSA, then projects, then something, or you want to change the order?
What Alpha did. That's the course plan. So learn a language, do some data structure, do some competitive programming. That really helps. And then focus on specific problems.
So when should they focus on competitive programming? Once after completing the whole syllabus or topic wise?
I'd say topic wise is better, because if like in competitive programming, they don't tell you what's the problem. You have to figure out. So like let's say if you learn let's say MST, you solve some competitive programming problem using MST. So you will know what the problem looks like if it's a MST problem. But let's say in lead code or something else, they will say you have to get the minimum spanning tree. So that's not helpful. So topic wise competitive problem solving helps. If anyone can do contest, that's great. I can't do because I don't perform well under pressure. So that's another story. But like at least problem solving, that helps.
So how have been your journey in the past few months when Alpha started?
Well,
like what did you do?
Watched the videos regularly, got placed, didn't watch the videos regularly. That happened. But with Alpha, I mean, I didn't know Java before. I mean, whatever I knew from computer programming, I knew in C++. Like I watch a lot of videos of algorithm of pure C++. But then again, it started mid-August, right? My internship season already started.
Okay.
So there were some companies who were giving Java-specific questions.
Java specific.
Yeah. For example, something that has to do with Java syntax or something like that. Let's say garbage collection. We don't have that in C++. So they were asking questions like this. So then, and they have reason, because their whole company's tech stack is built on Java. They want people who knows Java. So then I realized, okay, no matter how good I am at DSA, it's not that helpful. I have to know the industry specific tools. So then I decided, okay, I have to learn Java, and okay, if I can do the placement preparation with Java, why not? Then I go see your course. What it?
Many students have this doubt when they are in their first year. That should we start with web development? Should we start with Android development? Or should we start with a language like C++ or Java and then we should do DSA? You mentioned that projects are important. But suppose there are many kind of students. Some of them might be in the first year. Some of them might be in the third year and they are right now applying for companies. So in such time, what is more important? Suppose somebody has less time. So should he focus on the projects or should he focus more on the language and DSA part?
Speaking of the first year, I would say to learn DSA well, because like even though it seems like okay, we have 20 topics, 50 algorithm. We have to learn all of them. 6 months is enough.
Mm.
But like after 10 or 12, we just forgot the previous one. So it's a continuous process. So if it's better if someone starts at the first year, learn less, but keeps repeating, and then do side projects. Like just like don't surf through the topics. I mean, surf through, explore what's your interest. If you're interested in web, do some web. App, don't surf through all of them. Whatever you do, let's say you picked Marn Stack, just stick to it. Do some complicated things. Just don't stay with the to-do list app or something like that. Just something complicated, something fun. I mean, I can say like the project I had in Svelte and TypeScript, it's like ICPC. So the most interesting thing about ICPC to me is that the last resolver, they have frozen all the submissions of the last hour. They run one by one and the rank goes up and down. So this thing always fascinated me, like those animation. And I used Svelte for the animation. I made some, got the submission data. So this was fun. This had no real implication. They are not using my tool or anything. But I did it for the fun. So if anyone does project for the fun, that's fine, because either way you are learning something. So that's okay. And if someone's in third year, I would say if they don't have any project, probably it's time to do one or two, because if someone's been third year, they already have their data structure course, algorithm course. So they have the basic ideas. So if they don't have any project, probably it's the prime time to do one to improve the result.
Even I tell the students, sometimes they ask that DSA is boring, coding is boring. So how to make it fun? The best way to make it fun is to do projects. So you actually see something happening in front of your eyes.
Yeah, like when I started programming, my dad used to ask, like, I see people making robots and stuff. What do you do? Why is it black screen? Nothing happening. I understand that black screen coding is boring. So, but end of the day, that's gonna help. Even if like you make a website, it became popular, then it will be down. You have to know exactly how to optimize it, and that's where DSA comes in. So do it for the fun. You will learn along the way.
So talking about NIT, many students are concerned. So what is the attendance rules and how much work pressure or academic pressure is there?
Well, I can talk about all NITs. If I talk about NIT Trichy, people used to say just get into college and it's fun. It's not. It's never fun. It's like whatever you did during JEE, that's like in 6 months. So it's a lot of pressure, but then again, we have the freedom. Like I can come to my room at 2 a.m. I didn't have that freedom before. So like if someone can responsibly like utilize the freedom, that's fine. But then again, what happens is like I have seen a lot of people after like JEE, we studied really hard for the admission test. Even though I didn't give JEE, our admission test happened. So after we got into, we just kind of like leave everything. We don't like studying. So happens is we lose the habit of studying, and especially COVID happened in my session, so we lost it more. So it was really hard to get back on track. So if anyone wants suggestion, I just say just don't lose the habit. You studied 8 hours a day before, study 2 hours, but don't lose the habit, because end of the day, I mean, university is a lot of pressure. You have to study a lot of things. So without that habit, it's hard to survive.
So consistency matters in everything. So how did you get to know about us?
Searched how to do the extra in C++, not his video. Then I'm like, okay, they teach well, let's see someone else. That's how I got to know about Apna College. And I remember like Microsoft asks a lot of binary tree questions.
Yeah.
So,
in fact, I had binary tree question in my interview.
Exactly. My first round of Microsoft binary tree. So someone I asked a senior before Microsoft interview, I got shortlisted. So what should I do? They're like, do binary tree. So I'm like, okay, search Apna College, got your whole 2 or 3 hour that one video, did that. Okay, first round covered. And then, you just miss 1 or 2 topics from the book thinking it won't appear in the exam. That happened in Microsoft. I was a bit weak in backtracking.
Okay.
It's not like it's too much complicated, but the coding seems a bit weird because you have to go back and forth. So I always skip, like, who will ask backtracking question anyway? But apparently Microsoft did, and that wound is still alive.
Nice. So, like, did Alpha help you in learning backtracking, or you haven't?
No, I actually learned backtracking after that, and then I saw the alpha backtracking videos. It was good. Like, you even had backtracking video way before alpha happened, right? But what happened in my case is I thought it's not important, but apparently leave no stones unturned, learn everything. That's the only way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how many interview rounds did you have?
In my company, I had 3.
Okay.
And all of them were technical.
Okay.
Technical and
First one was coding round, then you had normal interviews, or 3 interviews
No.
with a round?
First one was online test.
Okay.
CP problems, aptitude test, stuff like that. And then 3 interviews.
Then 3 interviews. Was there an HR interview?
No, there was no specific HR, but like in all the rounds, except the last one, he wanted to grill me. But in the first 2, they asked about my project, what do I want to do. And then, okay, let's move into some coding problems. Then they gave me the technical questions.
Okay. How important do you think are communication skills for candidates in interviews?
A lot. Because in the first, let's say someone is good at competitive programming and data structure, he will easily cover the OT. Let's come to the first interview round. And say, okay, why don't you start by introducing yourself? And we have a lot of power to manipulate what that person is going to ask next by including stuff in our introduce yourself thing. So if you can like convince someone to like you did this in introduce yourself, they are gonna ask questions from your comfort zone. So having a better communication skill is helpful.
So is communication in interviews about good English, or is it something else? That is a question that a lot of students ask.
Well, it actually depends upon company policy, because if the company is something that okay, you can't run there without English.
No, basic English, like everybody needs to know because it's coding. So all of the resources are in English, the documentation and everything. But like, do you need really good English speaking skills, or is it just that you...
No, not really. Like, I won't say my English speaking is really good, but still I managed to pass through all of them. So you just have to know, like, answer questions. That's it.
Convey yourself to the...
Whatever you have in mind, just speak.
How many companies did you exactly apply to? Like, basic idea. Before your final internship offer?
At least 20.
At least 20. And in what time span?
1 month.
1 month. Within 1 month, 20 companies.
No, like what happens during internship season is, at least in NIT Trichy, they will come like bees in the first month. Because many companies like think this way, that if we go earlier, we will get the best talents.
Yeah.
I mean, probably that's the reason Google comes earliest. They get the best of the best or something like that. So in the first month, it happened like I had an OT in the morning, gave interview in the day, gave another OT in the night. Things like this happened. And it gets really hard when the academic session starts. During summer vacation, you can spend your whole day, whatever you need. And now, let's say, some of my friends are still giving interviews, they have to miss classes. And if the connection between your placement department and academic dean or department is well, you may get attendance for your interviews. If it's not, you are not getting it. So you have to maintain the attendance and interviews. That's a tough pressure.
Aptitude test is something which might be new for many of the students. So out of all the companies you applied for, how many companies had this aptitude test?
3 or 4.
Out of 23 to 4 companies.
Most companies, they only ask for DSA. Mostly, for example, financial companies give a preference over aptitude because they have words like that. And some companies just give it to make the test hard.
Okay. Because usually students don't do aptitude.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there should be a criteria to cut people off. So they just give it for that. But mostly financial companies prefer aptitude test.
financial companies? Like, can you tell 3-4 companies?
Yeah,
which
for
prefer?
example, D. Shopkeeper, Goldman Sachs, then JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley.
Okay.
There was AQR Capital, stuff like that.
I remember that Three Idiots dialogue, which was कि I don't remember it exactly. दोस्ती लग जाती है तो और ज़्यादा बुरा लगता है. There is something like that.
If your friend fails, you feel bad, but if your friend comes first, that feels worse. Yeah, that actually happens. I don't want to be a
I
bad
feel like
friend.
the pressure, peer pressure in on-campus internships, placements is more as compared to off-campus. Because there you don't see people constantly getting selected, and on-campus you see them constantly getting selected.
We have right now thousands of students who are watching us right now, right? So do you have any message for them?
Yeah,
One
well,
message that you want to share.
don't get like too much pressurized by peer pressures. If your peers get into good places, that means they will vouch for you in the future. So that's a good thing, not a bad thing. And just be consistent.
Yeah. Because if your friend gets in, he'll give you a referral
Exactly.
in the future.
So if your friends get into good places, that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
He started coding very early, right?
Very
There
early.
might be many students who wants to start coding in 6th class, 7th class, right? You started at your time in 8th, right? There might be many students who want to start coding in 3rd, 4th, 5th class, right? So what message do you have for the students?
Well, if someone wants to start early, the best advice for them is to like learn in the language that they are comfortable in.
No, like there is a 6th class, 7th class student who doesn't know about languages. They don't.
No, not that language. Let's say someone from Tamil Nadu, they should learn programming in Tamil using Tamil resources, not English, because I have seen people struggling because they were using English resources. Let's say someone said, okay, this book is very good to learn C. But that guy still doesn't know the language basics, right? So I learned programming in Bengali for like a lot of things, even data structure basics, right? So it helped me because we prefer learning in our mother tongue. So in earlier ages, it's better to learn. If English is your primary language, learn English, very good. But if it's not, try resources of your own language, the language you're comfortable in. You will learn much better than the people who only prefer English.
Right now, there will be many students, right? International students who must be watching this interview, right? So any specific message that you have for all the people who are watching from Bangladesh?
Hi, Bangladeshi people. I've been studying in a new country that comes up with a lot of challenges. You will see, like, I remember, like, about 2 months ago, we couldn't use UPI. And in India, without your running UPI, that's really hard. So yes, you are studying in a foreign country that comes up with a lot of challenges. But then again, you have to realize that you have come here. You are getting something that a lot of people in your country doesn't. So whatever resource you are getting, you have to utilize it. And even your parents, like, they would prefer if you would be with them, but they are still not preferring that because you are learning something new. So you get a lot of freedom in a new country, just don't waste it.
And how was your experience in India?
So my India experience is basically Chennai Airport and Trichy. And Trichy city. So this is my first time going somewhere out of Chennai Airport and Trichy city. So in Bangladesh, lot of people watches Bollywood movies. So we have this perception in our mind how India might be. And then I went to Tamil Nadu and it's like a 180-degree flip because nothing's familiar there. But like I wanted to even, like I got partial scholarship in US too. That one thing that I always wanted, that I would study in a university where a lot of people from a lot of culture, language will be there. And interestingly, even if I'm studying the neighbor country, in NIT, I'm getting there. People speak around 6 or 7 languages. There are people from every corner of India is there. So it's a very diversified experience. Make friends because like even at least for India, if you make friends in your college, that means you have a connection among 120 crore people. That's a big power.
So, did Delhi seem familiar to Bollywood movies?
Yes, I can communicate with locals using my barely spoken Hindi, which I can't in Tamil Nadu. They're like, huh? So, It feels a bit better, but then again, I have to roam.
आई होप आपको काफ़ी ज़्यादा मज़ा आया होगा और आई होप आपको भी बहुत ज़्यादा मज़ा आया होगा, राइट। एंड विश यू ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट फॉर योर फ्यूचर। और आपका बहुत शानदार कंपनी के अंदर हुआ है एंड यू आर अ वेरी ब्राइट स्टूडेंट जिसने बहुत एक अर्ली एज के अंदर अपनी पढ़ाई स्टार्ट कर दी थी और आप एक फॉरेन कंट्री के अंदर आके, नेबरिंग कंट्री के अंदर आके आपने जहाँ पे अलग अलग लैंग्वेजेस हैं, you have done really well and again wish you all the very best for your future, right। और बस इसी के साथ समाप्त करते हैं और आप सभी लोगों को भी ऐसे ही मेहनत करते रहो, पढ़ते रहो। तब तक के लिए लव यू ऑल, टेक केयर, सी या।